If we've learned anything over the last 2 or 3 years, it's that things don't just happen in a vacuum. World events don't just spring up for no good reason. Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, and Mao Zedong didn't just appear on the world stage out of thin air. As bewildering as some events appear, even nonsensical tragedies such as JFK's assassination and 9/11, they had surrounding circumstances and rationales, such as the case with the election and supposed rejection of President Donald Trump and the subsequent appearance of stumbling, bumbling Joe Biden. These men didn't just happen. President Trump was elected on the heels of 8 disappointing years of Barack Hussein Obama, a presidency that saw Americans embarrassed and diminished on the world stage, a sinking economy, giving many Americans a dismal outlook of the future. Trump was seen as some sort of an antidote to the self-serving establishment. Always a threat as a true outsider, he became the establishment's kryptonite when he started to fight back, something Republicans had little stomach for, of course. Power is a very intoxicating drug. Once ingested, it courses through a person's body and soul, rendering many incapable of clear sight or thought. If we really take time to think about it, we see this all the time in our lives. He was such a great guy until that promotion went to his head. She was a wonderful person until she, won the lottery by hitching up with that rich doctor. Stories like these are all too familiar, and the reasons are simple. You see, political power is neither unique or different. Trump challenged and threatened the power perpetually held by the Washington, D.C. establishment, a system of interconnected desires and needed outcomes. Now, here's what I really want everyone to focus in on, and please explain this to family members and friends. Apart from Donald Trump, what other president, Democrat or Republican, acted upon closing the southern border? None. What other president promised and delivered moving the American embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem? None. And here's my personal favorite, and then we'll move on because this list is long, like really long. And what other president stood up to the one-sided trade practices with China that were, and in many ways under Biden still are, killing our economy and middle class? The answer is none. The reasons are unmistakable. All 3 of the previously mentioned events remained in place for years because all 3 events maintained the power of the Washington, D.C. establishment. So Biden was the best chance that the institution had at keeping its power secure. But unfortunately, he was already afflicted with a declining mental capacity. The Washington elites, assisted by propagandized and unscrupulous media, hid Biden's failing cognitive condition as much as they could and his insane amounts of family corruption away from the American people. That, along with a well-coordinated effort in Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. You know, those irregularities we're not supposed to talk about. And so, here we are with the bleak prospects of 3 more years of absolute pain. Make no mistake, the establishment, or swamp, call it what you will, is well aware of Biden and Harris's dismal approval ratings. Their insatiable quest to maintain power, along with the reality of a Republican wave, will most likely cause them to act in, imprudent ways, dangerous to the Republic. Now, with this in mind, in the weeks and months to come, all Americans must be extra vigilant regarding voting rights legislation, as well as any proposed changes to the structure of the Supreme Court. While I'm at it, what the hell? It's a Friday, let me get this off my chest as well. A lot of conservative actors in the media and in positions of leadership will and have been gently but consistently changing the tone when it comes to a 2024 Trump presidency. Have you noticed this? The proverbial, "Oh, come on, not again. Don't start with this already." I believe this will increase as we move into the midterms and definitely afterwards. This is why I covered the phony Ron DeSantis-Donald Trump feud. It wouldn't even surprise me if the narrative from a lot of the smart, manipulative folks will be, hey, we need to move on and find fresh blood for the party. And I'm not just talking about the Ben Shapiro annoying types. They may not say it point blank. We are Republicans. Most of us are neutered if we're honest. But their body language and the lack of motivation and the reluctance to even talk about the man will take the energy out of the conversation. And I think that's what they want. And sure, I totally get it. Some of this has to do with the leftist media waiting to lash out at anyone showing support. But behind the scenes, there's a concerted effort to chill the mood, to zap the energy that Trump creates so well. Sadly, many people will swallow that garbage, looking for a Ron DeSantis to rise up and take Donald Trump's place. So soon we forget those fearless White House press conferences. Never before seen honesty on national television ever. So soon we forget crossing the North Korean border like a boss. Sadly, far too many amongst us in our own party, through our instant gratification, here today, gone tomorrow, 24-hour news cycle lifestyle, have the memory of a 3-week-old Labrador puppy, and loyalty completely controlled by our own insecurities and fear of not fitting in. Social media has done a hell of a job with that. Speaking of social media, another observation, if you will. Maybe you've noticed that social media still disappears pretty much anything from anyone to do with the Donald. And beyond a Hannity interview every now and then, we really don't see much of the orange man bad. His rallies are still ongoing, packed as ever. But Fox doesn't cover them, even on a low-rating Saturday afternoon. As Andy Rooney would say, why is that? Hell, I could barely find clips of his last Arizona rally the next day. Sure, Right Side was there live and probably Newsmax and One American News, but they certainly weren't anywhere on YouTube the next day. I was forced to watch the rally on the following day on a One American News app on Amazon because I couldn't find it anywhere. And I'm quite sure somebody out there is going to say, well, it was probably on Rumble or Getter or fill in the blanks, but I still don't partake in much social media at all. Beyond uploading content, of course. Moving on, I'm taking up far too much of your time here. Now, maybe I'm wrong and everyone is just keeping it low-key until the midterms, and then it will be all about the movement again. But folks, I don't know. I just don't know. Just looking at this party that supposedly represents us and considering the last presidential election, I have my suspicions, and I hope you do too. Okay, kind of went off the deep end there for a bit. Sorry about that. Hope you all have a great weekend. If you liked it, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everyone for all your donations. They're much needed and much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Come on, move. Move. Easy, easy.